It keeps getting crazier for the Toronto Blue Jays as we have multiple huge updates ahead of this afternoon's game. And folks, buckle up. Not only is this going to be a crazy game, but we have some brand new updates, some brand new comments you're going to want to stay tuned for ahead of this game. We're going to break that down as well as a few other interesting things, including Aaron Boone calling out one of our broadcasters. A ton to go over on this episode, but before we get into it all, folks, if you're part of the percentage who aren't subscribed to the channel, this is the place to be for daily Jays content, folks. We have waited all season long in what was a dream season. We had a week off now, basically. It is time. We are just hours away from, of course, Toronto Blue Jays versus New York Yankees, and we're a couple hours away here, a few hours away, depending when it drops, from the roster being released. Expect a video either before the game, somewhere this afternoon, about the roster, or of course after the game with a video either way, folks. It is time. Now, we have a ton of updates to go over, and the situation keeps getting crazier and crazier. And let's start with this. The Yankees starters have been announced. We're going to break down some of the Yankee starters, break down the matchups, also a little Bichette update there at the end as well. But let's start with this from Hazel May. Luis Hill is the Yankees' Game 1 starter per Aaron Boone. Feel like he's ready for this. He's in line for this. So like we've been covering now on the channel for myself, rather, like I've been covering around the channel for a while, Luis Hill was always the option for Game 1. Of course, they're going to go Max Fried Game 2, and we'll dive into that in a minute. And we assume Rodon Game 3 and Schlittler Game 4. But now that we're actually here, folks, it's time to buckle up because a lot of things are confirmed. Now, you can also see here that Max Fried is going to be going in Game 2. So they're going with Max Fried on the away for them, home for the Jays. Let me know down below what your guys' thoughts are on this, because this one is pretty interesting. They were between Luis Hill and, of course, Will Warren. Last time Luis Hill played the Jays, it was 6 innings, 1 run, but that was, again, they didn't do too bad. That may have been actually the game that Bo injured his leg, unfortunately, but it's going to be an absolute bloodbath, right? Like, there's no way around it. Fried is great. Carlos Rodon is great. Jays do have some advantages, though, and some of those advantages include putting the ball in play. They don't strike out. I think they line up well for Luis Hill. But the pressure is on the Blue Jays right now for this Game 1 because you're coming off of a week off. You have that advantage of winning the ALDS. You have the bullpen advantage. You have, of course, as it pertains to both, I think, talent and the rest day. But for Luis Hill, right, like, this is not their ace. You got to win Game 1. Like, this is a must-win game. Technically, obviously, isn't, but like, you have to go out there. Rogers Center, we know, is going to be absolutely buzzing. I cannot wait to listen to it on TV. It's going to be electric. You got to give those fans something to play for. And again, we know they play today at 4:08 Eastern. It's going to be rough. 2 games at home and then 2 games on the road. Win the game at home. And now that you have, I'm sure the Jays have been planning for Luis Hill for a while. It was pretty publicly known. They were, of course, keeping some things behind the scenes and undercover. Let me know down below what your thoughts are on that, because you look at the lineup now that the Jays can, go out with against him, I guess, because he is a righty. And you can see here from the Fangraphs, Springer, Lucas, Vladdy, Berger, Kirk, Varsho, Santander, Clement, Jimenez. Honestly, this is probably the lineup that they're going to go with against Luis Hill. Maybe they throw Schneider in there if they're liking the way that he's been playing instead of someone in there. I like this. Lucas has been on fire lately, and Lucas has been one of the clutchest hitters in the entire season for the Jays, the untold or the unsung hero of this team. You have to throw him in there, and I think they're probably going to put him in the 2-hole, keeping Berger in the cleanup spot, Varsho after Kirk, being able to do what the Jays have done all year for John Schneider, which is switch in and out between, I think the Jays average like 12 players a game used. You can pinch hit David Schneider against a lefty. You can pinch hit, and depending who makes the team here, I don't think Loperfido is going to make the team. I don't know if IKF is going to make the team. Of course, if Bo Bichette's available, you throw Bo Bichette in there, but I don't think he is. It makes things super, super interesting. And one of the biggest things no one's talking about here is Vladimir Guerrero Jr. And when I say no one's talking about it, again, he's had a pretty cold end to this season. He hasn't been great since Bo left. You look at his overall stats this year: 292 average, 381 on base percentage, 467 slugging, good for an 848 OPS. It plummeted down in the past few weeks. His average at Yankee Stadium is fantastic. Vladdy hits great at the Rogers Center as well, which obviously you're going to be in both those stadiums. The Jays are set up perfectly for this series. They are the underdogs. Rightfully so, probably. Like, if I'm betting, like most people are going to be betting probably on the Yankees here. The Jays have the advantage with the bullpen, with defense, putting balls in play. You have to get to Luis Hill early. Max Fried, does he scare me? Absolutely. But he doesn't scare me as much as a Garrett Crochet. And the whole play, don't even get me started in the playoffs scheme here, or the playoffs, format. The fact that the 1 and 2 seed are playing each other in the AL is ludicrous. Or the Tigers and, of course, in the Mariners on the other side, whatever. I'm going to put that to rest. You would have to beat the Yankees to make the World Series anyway this year. So go ahead and actually do it. And this is the biggest series of Vladdy's life, Bo Bichette's life, most of these players' lives. When you go through it, not Springer, but Lucas, Vladdy, Berger, Kirk, Varsho, Santander, maybe, Clement, Jimenez, a lot of these guys. This is a huge series for them. And especially Vladdy, he is the wild card here. And I'm super excited to see it. Now, speaking of some things, we know that the Buck Martinez quote from earlier this season, the Yankees, they're not a good team. I don't care what their record is. They have a lot of wild pitches. They make a lot of mistakes in the field. They don't run the bases very well. If they don't hit home runs, they don't have a chance to win. Aaron Boone, I guess, commented on that yesterday and said, contrary to some thoughts up here, we're a really good team. I know Buck had some thoughts. He's wrong. For one, Buck's not on the internet, I don't think. I don't think he has internet. People are saying online. So obviously he does, I would assume. But regardless of that, okay, I don't know why Aaron Boone's bringing that back up unless a question was asked to him. Even then, I don't know why he called out Buck. Second, the Yankees are a very different fielding team than when we last saw them, at least when we swept them and they had the generationally bad, series. Their defense was better in the, last series in September there where the Jays lost the series, but, won the one to win the, season series. The defense is going to be the big difference maker here. And I think for me, the critical points are, can the Jays put together productive at-bats, 2 strike counts, foul off a bunch of pitches, get the starters out of the game early, get to that weak Yankees bullpen? Okay, that's the first question. Second question, can the starters, Gausman, Bieber, Yasavage, whatever order that is, Gausman today, can they keep it in the ballpark? Like, if the Jays give up home runs, all the Jays starters, in my mind, could lose in the game, but they could also go out and dominate. We've seen Gausman dominate the Yankees. We've seen even guys like Bassett dominate the Yankees. It's going to be an absolute doozy of a game. And you go up against the Yankees here, you can look at their depth chart. I mean, Grisham, Judge, Bellinger, Rice, Giancarlo, Jazz, Wells, Volpe, McMahon. This is probably their starting lineup against the Jays every single time. The Jays don't have a lefty starter. Eric Lauer, you can probably piggyback tomorrow in game 2. But, this is a very good ball club. No matter what people say, I hate the Yankees. I despise them, my least favorite team. They're a good ball club. They have the best offense in baseball. They hit a ton of home runs, which is very not conducive at all to what the Jays do because the Jays are the opposite. They put a ton of balls in play. They don't hit home runs. They're the true 3-outcome team here, which is home run, walk, and of course, strike out. It's going to be an absolute dogfight. And I'm super excited and I feel blessed to be able to watch it, but this team needs to step up. And there's some more things here. Keegan Matheson, the biggest, the largest. The Blue Jays need to survive Aaron Judge, the superstar with his own gravitational pull. My story. I'm not going to dive into that, but it's a good point here about Joshua. I hope that at some point articles like this are written about Vladdy. He's not Judge and never will be, but the hope is that he becomes the slugger that teams fear this way. Right now, Vlad still has way too many ups and downs, especially in power for someone as good as he is. This is what it comes down to. It comes down to Vladdy. Put everything else aside, starting pitching, all these things. If Vladdy has a great series, I'm super confident in this team and this team's ability to win. Even if he doesn't, we've seen multiple times throughout this year, that they have enough talent to win games. Vladdy needs to put up a generational series. He got paid $500 million. There's no stress there. Go out, win the ball game. It's going to be the loudest Rogers Center in a decade, no doubt. This place is going to be, I wish I could go. This place could be absolutely electric. It's going to be like a doghouse. Go out and win the game. You win game 1, the rest figures itself out. We know how things like this work. Get their first playoff win in the Vladimir Guerrero Jr. era. This is the biggest game of a lot of our last decades, some of our lives, all these different things. Obviously enjoy it. And it's going to be interesting to see if Rogers Center is open or closed. John Schneider said the conditions seem good to open it. And I think the stats, you see there from Blake Murphy, Rogers Center park factors are really wonky because they've changed the dimensions several times recently. And what normally requires a 3-year sample is further split into open/closed. So I think the Jays would be beneficiaries of the dome being open technically, because you can see here, oddly would help the Jays to me. Judge and Stanton generally don't need generous parks for their homers. If they hit one that's going out, it's going out anywhere. The Jays guys, Clement, Schneider, Kirk, etc., don't hit those as often. I don't really care either way, whether it's open or closed. I kind of want to experience, the closed dome with how loud it can be. But that's something else to throw out there. And a quick update on Bichette. We'll obviously know in the next few hours about his future. It doesn't seem like he's going to be available, but the big question mark remains. And the thing that keeps getting crazier is Bo Bichette's availability. If they somehow put him on the roster today, which in a couple hours, again, I'll leave every video right after that, depending when it drops. It could drop any moment now. We don't know for sure. Of course, it's 8 a.m. Eastern if you're just watching this when it came out. This is going to be like a super, or maybe even 7 a.m. Eastern, depending when I drop it. This is going to be a super crazy roster. Like if Bo's on the roster, it means A, someone was left off, and B, they're confident in him being on the team. Don't be surprised if you see Bo Bichette on the roster, but not available in game 1. And that would, of course, create a whole nother, factor and a whole nother, sequence of videos here. Folks, your guys' support's been amazing. And before I wrap up this video, I want to thank each and every one of you. If you've made it this far, leave a comment section down below your favorite moment of the Jays season so far, because all that's going to be erased. All that's going to be sent to oblivion right now. What matters is this playoff series. Who cares how good Vladdy was this year? Who cares how that, George Springer had a generational year? For this moment, if he doesn't do it in the playoffs, if the team doesn't win, none of it matters. But what does matter is you guys continue to support all year. Thank you guys for watching. See you later.